Welcome to tonight's interview here in Women's Body Breakthrough. What we are going to be talking about is Peggy and her pivotal moments in transformation, about what she's done in the past and what she's been able to overcome and the transformation that she's been able to see at the time point where I was able to meet up with her and get some great help with her, specifically on her nutrition journey, and get her settled in there. We've actually been able to free her up from, a weight loss mentality to get her into actual transformational nutrition and it's just been radical change. And like in the comments, we'll post the videos or the pictures from beginning of her journey and to where she's at now. Some of the cool things is she wakes up super early. She gets up at like 4 o'clock, sometimes earlier than that. From there, she is going on about her day. She gets her workout. Let me see. I think she might be on. I'm trying to invite you, Peggy, if you can watch that, if you're seeing me. On here shortly.
Hi.
Peggy is. Hello, Peggy. Welcome
Hey, how's it going?
tonight. Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited to see you and have you on board today.
Yeah, a little technical difficulty, but I got it.
Yeah, we'll have that. This was actually one of the smoother times that I've had with Facebook Live, so I'm happy to see you and really kind of like meet you like face to face now. We've done a lot of coaching together, and oftentimes like I see people in pictures, but not live. So I put my headphones in so I can get real clear on our conversation. So what I was trying to do is just open up some intro about yourself, how you wake up really early, how you work in physical therapy, and you see a lot of the reactive medicine that goes on, how that's helped spur the moment of what is going on, in somewhat motivates you to change. Also talking about one of the biggest reasons why they got you to shift was your granddaughter and how important that was to you. And so let's dive in. Let's get going. So one of the things that we kind of talked about a little bit before was you have to dig back a couple years. This has been a couple year journey for you, and you need to dig back to the beginning of where you were, if you can even remember, because you probably can't identify with that person anymore. You can't, your lifestyles, your habits are so different from what they used to be that got you in a kind of a sticky situation where you're at. So maybe we can start back there, talk about where you were at, because somebody now watching now, or maybe in the future, may be in that position and may want to, may have some inspiration from your story and seek out change for themselves. So, let's take it away, and I'll just listen. And when I come up with questions, I'll let you know how I like asking questions.
Okay, cool.
So,
cool. My journey started about almost 3 years ago, if we add it all up. And my blood pressure was getting out of hand. And I was sitting in the doctor's office one day and almost weighing 200 pounds at 5'7". And basically they told me if I didn't do something about my blood pressure, I was probably going to have a stroke. Now, I work in the therapy gig and I work in long-term care, and I've seen the effects of what a stroke will do to you. And I had a little granddaughter, and I decided that day I was going to do something because I wanted to be here for her.
Right.
So
it was a pivotal moment then, huh?
Yes, I started my journey, and this pivotal. And I was tired all the time. I kept saying, I don't have time to do this. How am I going to find time?
Right.
And what happened is when I finally became intentional with what I was going to do, all of a sudden the time appeared. I don't know where it came
showed
from.
up.
I have no idea where it came from, but it came. My energy levels just went crazy. Like
It started changing, right?
yes,
So,
everything started changing.
right. Let's live in that moment of getting, prior to that doctor's appointment. Maybe you could describe some of the things that were happening in your world, uh, from the way you felt about yourself, your clothing. You have a farm and you do a fair amount of upkeep with that, with animals even.
Right.
How was all, like, almost being 200 pounds, like how did that change your energy, attitude toward all the things that you were doing?
Well, it was totally exhausting. Number one, like I said, I couldn't find the time. I was tired. I was exhausted,
Hmm.
um, and I felt bad, and looked in the mirror one day and
Right.
actually scared myself when I saw my behind, and I was like, oh my gosh, what? Who is that? And I and
Right. Where'd this come from?
seriously, sometimes you can see yourself and fool yourself and say, oh well, these pants
Right.
still kind of fit. Yeah, I can button them so they still fit, so I'm okay. Um, but
Right.
you start feeling kind of bad about yourself. My gosh, and I'm going to use the bad word. I was fat. I had rolls.
Hmm.
I was didn't have the energy I should have. I wanted to take a nap. I wanted to do anything but take account of what I really needed to do for myself. And
Right.
when I find it's like it clicked in my head right then and there, and then it was just life changing. I know that a lot of people use a whole lifestyle change, which it is. It's a
It
true
is.
lifestyle change. Um, you go from, oh, who cares if I eat this, or who cares if I don't do that, to I do care. I do care what kind of stuff I'm putting in my body. I do care how my body's reacting to what I'm
Right.
doing. And um, I'm going to be 58 in a week,
Right.
and I feel so much more energetic, ready to go. I can run laps around people half my age right now, no problem.
Right.
I have got
What were
energy out of this world.
we'll dive into that. What were some of the bad habits
Okay.
you might remember? I know, I can tell you're
Bad
excited.
habit.
We've been doing a lot of cool stuff with you. Um, what were some of the bad habits you were living in that got you into where you were?
The bad cycle of being overweight, going out to eat all the time, eating junk
Yeah.
food, not paying attention to what I'm eating, um, not being having any physical activity really, other than the
Right.
farm work and this work, but I mean not intentional, if that makes any sense. I wasn't
Yeah,
balancing
totally.
that I wasn't
Right.
balancing what I needed to do, because I'm
Right.
still believe that it's 80% what you put in your body. So when you're not caring what you're
Right.
putting in, and you're eating those potato chips, even if you're eating 2 or 3 potato chips, they're snacking here and there. It all adds up. All those things add up,
Right.
and
Right.
you just
What
when you don't
with
care, you
food
don't care.
choices? Right, with food choices, what was happening there?
Oh, I could eat a whole box of donuts or a whole
Oh,
pizza. If you didn't get embarrassed sitting there with me, I absolutely could. Um,
okay.
I
Okay.
I just ate everything in bad
Hmm.
proportions. And
Okay.
I wasn't educated in that enough to know.
Hmm.
Yeah, sometimes you can eat a slice of pizza, no problem, but you can't eat the whole
Right.
pizza. And you just have to take everything into consideration, and that's where kind of where I'm at right now is
Right.
getting out of that bad world of just putting everything it was, and that's basically where I was at. I didn't care. Well,
Right.
I shouldn't say didn't care. I guess I really did
Right.
care. I just wasn't paying attention enough to know that I should care that, hey, you're putting really, really bad things in your
Right.
body. Yeah.
Right. Uh, um, okay. So we're laying a picture, very fatigued, eating really bad habits and bad portions, not really necessarily knowing what or why or any. It was just probably emotion, or you're just hungry and that's what you did,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just a lifestyle habit of just existing and doing and whatever, and just not caring. So then you decided, you know, you got the doctor's appointment, and that was, again, pivotal moment to, you know, you can pinpoint that specific time that Peggy decided to take action. It was the warning bells that were going off. The doctor's over here raising flags like, hey, you need to do something like ASAP, or this is going to get out of control real fast. And, you know, fast forward a decade from now, your granddaughter is going to be very active, very involved, very engaged, and you don't want to be left behind, right? And so that's
Exactly.
one of the underlying things that you shared with me when we first talked was that. So what were some of the changes that you initially started taking that started to make sense for you?
I actually started looking into the proper ways of feeding your body, and which is really quite interesting. Is that I went to the 5 meals, proportion
Okay.
meals. I did start
Right.
taking supplements, um, and I have basically stuck with that kind of regime from then to now, maybe in different portions, just because, you know, we're trying to do some different things with me
Mm-hmm.
now, but it was changing. I totally obliterated some of the stuff out of my diet only because I know how I am, and if I really,
Right.
really want that Snickers bar, I'm going to eat 3. So
Right.
so I keep
Right.
away
So
from those kind of, so it was
no
learning,
Snickers.
yeah, learning what things to kind of keep away from myself, because we all have our weaknesses, and those
Yeah.
weaknesses are things that we tend to indulge in, and I guarantee not any of them are good for you. Okay,
Right.
so
I'll
I
admit.
learned,
I'll
you
admit
admit it.
mine. I'm a cookie brownie baked goods guy. You know, you put a cookie in front of me, like it's probably not going to exist
Yeah, and
much longer. Like,
one cookie's not going to kill you, but I will tell
no,
you,
but
I would have ate a
that's
whole
not.
dozen of cookies if they were there. See?
That's how I'd roll too. Right. So
Yeah, no, we can't
right.
stop with one. So I basically learned to bring my eating back around and make it healthy, um, so that I
Hmm.
could get into some weight loss. So, you
Right.
know, that's kind of where I started. You know, and then we kind of went on for that. I did that for a full year without
Yeah.
ever touching the gym. So just to let the
Right.
ladies know out there that are running in the gym and maybe not seeing what they want, it starts in the kitchen. 100%, it starts in that kitchen.
Right.
Uh, yeah, and you've got
Right.
to
Right.
proportion exactly right. So,
Yeah. Right. You can, you know, you can lose weight dieting. You can lose weight exercising.
mm-hmm,
But the most powerful combination is both of them together. And
exactly,
oftentimes, when you
exactly.
do both together, you create healthy behaviors and lifestyle changes that result in long-term sustainability. And that's where a lot of people struggle, is that sustainability piece of being able to maintain the lifestyle stuff over the long haul. Like, sure, you could diet, and, you know, there's all sorts of diets. You know, put something up on the post board up in here in the group, and you'll get 20 different options, from do keto to Atkins to South Beach to, you know, all 18 different diets that are out there. But you know, it's not necessarily sustaining. It's very restrictive and very you know, even isolating. And that's
Mm-hmm.
not really what is important. And that's some of the things that we've been able to discover with you. So yeah, you can do that. And if you lose the weight, great. But then what happens is that you get that rebound if you don't maintain that strictness or whatever, because you
Mm-hmm.
don't understand nutrition. You don't understand how food interacts with you, what your behaviors are around it. Like you said with the pizza, like, you know, now you have a much better understanding how, like, you could actually eat some pizza and be okay with it. But before, like, that could have been a gateway to, like, oh, I'm just going to eat like 6 slices, and that, you know,
Exactly.
like a slice of pizza is like 250, 300 calories. And, you know, that's like a day's worth of food there for some people. And so, you know, like, And then you lose weight, but there's not necessarily anything to show off, you know. And you've spent a fair amount of time in the gym, uh, lifting and building muscle tone and changing the body stuff. Move on. So we spent a year of nutrition, focusing on just healthier behaviors, cutting out foods. And then where did that lead you?
Then I decided I was going to start going to the gym, and my only plan was to basically get rid of the flab, soft muscle and whatever.
Right.
And
I think we lost her. Let's see if we can get her back on. Yep, there she goes. We're adding her back in.
somehow we got lost.
Yeah, that's all right. You are back. So
Okay,
you wanted to
anyway,
start to tighten and tone up. Right, you want to tighten, tone
yeah,
up your body in the gym.
I was loose, I was flabby. I wanted to tighten, tone up. That was my first goal, was just to tighten and tone up. And I don't want to be all muscly. And I don't know. I think that's what everybody says when they first go in there, because you're really intimidated. So that's what you say.
Right.
So I got in the gym and I started working out, and I started seeing changes. And I'm talking changes. And I don't know if anybody out there really knows that after 40, it's a little harder to start building the muscle. However, you can build the muscle, and it is there.
Right.
Check out that arm right there. So,
yeah.
and that's not even pumped up right there. That's just it was leg day today, so my arms aren't pumped. But, I would show you my legs, but I'm in some really short shorts, and I thought that would be really embarrassing. But I figured you wanted to see that part of me anyway. So I started out, I just wanted to get rid of the loose. And so I kind of went on the lighter weights, which that's a lot of what everybody works on. And then I started seeing the pleasure and starting to see the muscles. And I said, man, I like it. And I'm getting stronger and stronger. And I just kept going and going and going and going. And so now, as Brian knows, I'm now changing my gears to actually, I want to build more muscle and pack more muscle on. That's not for everybody. For me, it's just what I want to do. Challenging myself.
Exactly. And exactly. A quick time out here. It's simply progression, right? You went, you spent a year just watching your food. Then you're like, wait a minute, like I could do more. Then you got into the gym and started just moving and experiencing what that is. And you actually, really enjoyed that and spending the time there and working on yourself. And then from there, it just progresses and builds on. I had a very strong endurance background for me for years, like 15, 20 years of running. And I started off with doing 5Ks. The next thing you know, I got up to 50-mile ultra marathon. Then I got into triathlons. Then I got into CrossFit. And it was just a simple progression of where I was and to where I became, like where it was. So that's all that it is. So someone could see this and that's simply it. There's no reason to be intimidated. Oh, she's lived, blah, blah, blah. This is her specific goals of where she's at right now. And it's created, 3 years of time to get to this point. So as soon as you start moving, then you start to really understand what type of movements you enjoy and what type of workout programs and different things that you can really experience and get better results with. So fantastic. All right, jump on, continue on. See, we lost her again. We'll get her back in here. It's good old Wi-Fi. Gia's on here. Welcome, Gia. What's going on? Just a part. We're going to be meeting up with Gia here. Let's see if I can get her up. Let's see if we can get her going again. All right, Peggy. If you can watch this, click back in like you did. I can't seem to. All right, it seems like things are connecting again. All right, looks Looks like I can see myself, and we're working on getting Peggy in. Soon as we get her back on. It says it's adding, and right now we're just kind of hanging out here, waiting for it to connect with Peggy. So, all right. All right. I'm texting her now. She's back on. We're adding her in.
Hi again.
Hey,
I don't know
yay!
what's happening,
She's
and I'm
back.
out in the middle of nowhere, so who knows? Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
I'm in my basement, like I've tried this at like public places. I've tried this 3 different locations in my house. I've tried this like everywhere. And it's just like sometimes it works great and then it cuts
Yeah,
out like whatever.
yeah. Who
So,
knows?
oh well, you're back.
Okay, finally.
So,
Okay. Where were we? So I've been
so
in the gym.
we're talking about progression and
Yeah,
where you're at right
yeah,
now
yeah.
in
I've
your
been in
journey.
the gym for 3 years. Started out just wanting to tone up, and now I've decided I want to muscle
Right,
up, which is great fun
right.
actually, and
Mm-hmm.
crazy to think that I actually have so much energy. And I do, as Brian said, I get up at about 3 o'clock in the morning every day, and spend about an hour and a half
Mm-hmm.
with him. And he's now has taught me how to count my macros and do my calories right, so that I know how to
Right.
build and how to lose when I need to. So that's
Mm-hmm.
been a wonderful help for me.
All right.
Um,
What got you to reach out? What was the point
well,
where you're like, I need
I
some
was
help?
kind of, like I said, I'd been working out in the gym, and I kind of stopped seeing the change. And I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
gaining, I wasn't losing, and I knew that as much as I was working out, I should be gaining more muscle. So I said,
Right.
okay, I'm obviously not eating or doing something right. I knew working out,
Right.
the routine I was doing was right. It was not getting the right macros and not getting things in appropriately for what I was wanting to do with my
Right.
body.
Right.
I was so stuck in that weight loss mode. I'm kind of scared. I was scared, that. That if I put too much in, I
Right.
was going
Yeah.
to gain the bad weight back. Instead of
Right.
believing, if you do the macros properly and everything, your body actually will build the right tissue, such as muscles. That's what I was working for.
Right.
Um, and so that I got a very good education on, basically don't freak out,
On
and
nutrition.
and
Yeah.
nutrition, do it properly. Get things
Right.
at the right levels, and
For you.
yeah, for me and everything. So that's a whole nother thing. So my goals are to get like 150 grams of protein in a day. Not everybody's goals are going to be that. So
Right. Right.
somebody else might look at that and say, what, are you crazy? But no, but I want to build
Right.
muscle, so that is where I'm going. And I needed to get that through my head, that it was okay
At
to
the
do that.
carbs.
Yes, those
Right.
are no carbs that
So I mean,
yep.
weren't what are some of the myths? Yeah, what are some of the myths that we had to bust that you
Oh,
had
like
built up over
bread and
time?
the yeah. Yeah, I was kind of against having too many carbs. Um,
Right.
but as I learned that the carbs create the energy to allow the muscles um, to
Do the
build,
work.
to be able to work, and
Yeah.
to be able to do
Right.
what they need to do, so that the other nutrients I'm putting in could help build the muscles back. So that I just had to learn that good balance, because it's this car honestly, the thing that you're told is carbs, 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 carbs. and they scared me. I'm gonna be honest. They scared me, and I was like, oh
Right.
my gosh, if I eat bread, I'm gonna get a pudgy belly, you know. So
Right.
and it's not that I go around and eat a whole loaf of bread, I would have,
Right.
but not
Right.
now. Homemade bread, hot butter, no, but I won't do
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So we all have our things, and know that every once
Yeah.
in a while I'm gonna eat that hot bread, but not the whole loaf anymore. So
Right.
it's a matter of being very intentional with what you do. I got my little. I don't know if anybody gonna be able to see that, but this is my little daily. I don't know if you can see it. It's my daily. What I do daily.
Yeah.
I write it down. Shows you my proteins, my carbs, my fiber, sugar, fat, and the calories I take in during a day. I I do this, and I was telling Brian, I anything I grab in my hand to put in my mouth goes on this piece of paper before it goes in my mouth, because I'm not going to not put it
Hmm.
on this piece of paper, because you forget sometimes. And I think I have to skip
Right.
Danger there because I did forget. But you do forget.
Hmm.
So keeping a little diary and realizing, and that's something else that I got that lesson was, basically keep this daily diary, and it'll show you which direction you
Right.
need to go, because you're going to see, your weight fluctuations, and what's going on with your body, and
Right.
how does your body respond to what you're putting into it. And that's,
Right.
that
So
is
it
something.
sounds like we had you take responsibility
Mm-hmm.
for all of your efforts that you're doing, right? You were already working out
Mm-hmm.
and getting stalled out. You were already eating healthy, quote unquote healthy, but you didn't truly understand it. You had
Right.
mentioned that I remember talking. One of the huge things is support and making sure that you go through this process supported and understanding what's happening and even what might happen in the future so that you can become
Right.
aware of that. And it all is up in here. So you talked about going from like a weight loss mindset to a fueling fat loss mindset. And that's something
Mm-hmm.
that we've been trying to support you on as well. And it goes back into nutrition. So yeah, it's and one of the big things that maybe you remember is bring the data, not the drama. And so that's something I have to reflect on a lot of my clients is that it's so easy to be like, oh, like the scale says this, or my pants say that, or whatever. But, like, let's look at the facts. Are you working out in the week?
Yes.
Yes or no? Are you paying attention to your food? Whether you're tracking or not, there has to be some form of responsibility and attention given to your food. If you need to lose weight, you can't just aimlessly like hope and pray that it's going to fall off. Or you can't just avoid whole food
Right.
groups like carbs. Like the most popular diet
Right.
out right now is keto. Like,
Yeah.
check back like 5 years at the beginning of my CrossFit career, it was paleo. Guess what?
Yeah.
There's a lot of carbs in that one, like so
Yeah. They
it's
do.
not the diet.
Yeah. It's really learning what your body needs and how it needs it. Really. I did. Jennifer said, "What time do you go to
Mm-hmm.
bed?" Well, it's past my bedtime, usually by 8. I'm just gonna let you know that. But
Right. Yeah. So
I slept much
everyone,
sooner, so
everyone
I would.
thank her for being up right now. So totally appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Right. We're talking about with Jennifer. I'm working with Jen, and we're talking about when she goes to bed and the importance of that, and the importance of getting up earlier. And I'm trying to add 15 to 20 minutes more in her morning, and there is
Uh-huh.
a literally a night and day difference, a black and white difference when she wakes up early and when she wakes up right on time to get up and get just the right things done.
Yeah.
And it's vitally important that she gives herself that time, and you have plenty of time waking up at 3. So no, we lost her again. We'll try and get her back in. As we wait for Peggy to come back, some of the biggest things happening here are shifts in her mentality around food. The shifts in her mentality around exercise and how things have changed, shifted, and adapted. The mindsets, the capacity, the desires to continue on with this. We're going to add her back in. So these are some of the key things. Her daughter, huge reason why that she needs to be doing this for herself. Yes, she's back. I'm just really grateful that it's all going to be on one video. I'll take the breaks and pauses and stuff over having to, redo this whole thing and have a part 2. So, okay, so our coaching together was a lot of education, a lot of support around nutrition, a lot about how what it is that you need to do. You have, I have an alarm that goes off every Tuesday at 10. So, to remind me to do something, trash night. Okay. So, but,
trash night. Get that trash out.
Yeah, that's next. So we've done a lot of shifts. What were some of the most important parts about the coaching that we did together? What are some of the biggest takeaways? We lost her again. Dang it. We'll add her back in and keep on going.
Okay, we'll just keep running on here. Anyway, the most important part was basically busting through my hard head and educating me on what I needed to be doing and how I needed to be doing it in my nutrition. Honestly, and your positive attitude, you're awesome. You're bouncy and bouncy. I don't know. It just sounded funny. Anyway, you're just so positive and you're supportive, and that number one is good for everybody. And you were able to break through, like I said, my hard head and my set ways, and to get me to think about really how this works versus how I thought it worked. Does that make sense?
Right.
Are you there?
Yeah, totally. Hello? To me, it does. So hopefully it does to others. Yeah. Yeah, I see ya. Yeah. So many people in general, not just women, not just men, but both, I need to do this diet or that diet, or I want results fast. Sure, we can get you really fast results. Just stop eating for a couple of days. Like, you'll lose weight. Probably not the way you want to go about it, though, right? So like, it's about educating you doing it the right way.
Yeah. And honestly, that whole thing about if it goes off quick, it's going to come back quick. That's pretty true. Plus, a lot of times when you're doing that, you're losing muscle mass versus really the bad stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And,
right.
Everybody wants that instant gratification. That's number one. It does take a lot of patience. You have to have patience with yourself. You got to forgive yourself. And you got to have patience with yourself and say, you know what? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make this me. I'm doing this as a lifestyle. I'm not just going to do it so I can fit in my bathing suit to go to the beach and forget it after that. Yes, there's a lot of people out there that do that. However, that is not that's not the healthy way to do it. I found that if you work at it, take your time, do it right, it stays off. I have not had, and I've been doing this, like I said, it's been about 3 years or so, and actually it's probably been a little over 3 years at this point. And I have maintained, I'm done fine. I'm not having any problems with weight now. Other than I just want to build more muscle, so obviously I'm going to gain some weight, but it's going to be the good weight. Having learned and the education along with and taking, like I said, forgive yourself, move on.
Oh, goodness. Tricky internet. We had 1 week. We'll kind of get back on here talk about it is we had 1 week where she was kind of freaking out a little bit. She was worried. She was not experiencing quite what it is that she wanted. And we coached her through that, what the efforts were, what the results were, what she needed to do to make a better impact in her life. So we're going to add her back in. We'll just keep going. She's out. Hence the Wi-Fi issues. But we're there. Hey, what I wanted to do was bring up, we'll just keep adding you back. So what I wanted to do is talk about that 1 week where the coaching really came into play about the body weight, how about like getting a little more dramatic instead of being more logical about the data.
Yeah, the thing, because I was sure I ate too much bread that week, but once we pulled the data, it was that I wasn't doing it properly. I did not have my right proportions of macros, and that's my proportions of protein versus carbs versus sugar versus fiber. I was way off that week. Here I thought I was doing great, and well, look who's to blame. It was myself, and Brian was able to bring me back down off of that little high horse and got me back on track, and then it hit me. Bing! Okay, so it showed me what my body does when I do. So, that week was a little tragic, but we got over it. Thanks to Brian. Yay!
It was a great learning lesson. Yeah. It was a great learning lesson, right, Peggy? It realigned. So, down. Like, 2 years from now. Like 2 years from now, like you still have that experience. You still understand. You'll be even like more engaged and involved in your specific goals and know how to get there. So we've shared a lot so far, and I'd love to like kind of like wrap it up here and dive into, you got to think about speaking to the person you were before the doctor's office. What are the important things that you need to share with, like, say, even yourself? What would you tell yourself, someone that making very good, healthy nutrition habits? There she goes again. Goodness. Internet. We will wrap this up here shortly. Thanks for hanging on here. It's been intermittent as we go, but it's important to share Peggy's story, and it's good old Wi-Fi. It's just, thankfully, we can even do this. That's the magic of technology, and so when she pops on, and we'll add her back in, and I'll talk to the person. There we go. Talk to the person who she was before the shifts, before the changes, before the education, the experience, the time put in working on herself. That's where I talk to a lot of people. I talk to them before the change, before the shift. They start to like kind of dip their toe in the water, and they are like, oh wow, like maybe I should do something about this, or I want to, and they just don't. So many times there's so much information out there. They're confused, they're lost, they're distracted. They just don't know what to do next. It says right now we're trying to add her back on. There she is.
I'm back.
Fantastic.
The aliens are taking me out something. Man, this is crazy. Anyway, I don't know.
Talk to the person before you got to the doctor's office, before the pivotal moment in your life, bad habits and all, overweight, not feeling great about yourself.
Let me go
talk to that person from where you're at now.
I don't even know how to talk to myself back then, because obviously I wasn't doing it very well.
From this point now, where you're at now, the transformation you've experienced, the knowledge, education, understanding, to where you were then without all that.
Where I was without all the education, and talk to that person. That's too hard-headed to listen,
Yeah,
I
talk to
think.
the person. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, woo, you're way better at that than I am. I can tell you that. That's the reason why, you do what you do. Um, but I would
Right.
just have to tell somebody that, and this is true. Life is tough as it is, but when you're unhealthy,
Nope. We've lost her again. That could be internet on my side. But what we're doing is wrapping up our call here, our interview, and I thank you again for sticking around and hanging out with us tonight. And if you're watching this in the future, this is an opportune time to really check yourself of where you're at right now, what's going on in your life, and what are the critical things that need to change to get the results. And just remember, like, it's a simple decision to make, to change, but you need the support, you need the accountability, you need the things that are going to create the shifts and get them to stick with you. I can't tell you how many times people say you've got this and it's this year, and they get to the end of the year and nothing's changed because they don't find the support.
how are
They don't
you?
find what's going on. Hello.
We're persistent.
Yes, we are. And that's
Yeah.
exactly consistency and persistence over time
Yeah.
wins it. So
And if
share,
you
jump right in.
want to go, how's that? You know what? It takes
Yep.
time, but you've got to find it deep within yourself, uh, and you have to make that choice yourself that you want to get to a healthy place. And the best thing I can say to a person that's in an unhealthy place is basically think about what you want your life to be. If you're unhealthy, life is going to be a lot harder for you in general. Um, the healthier you are, you get healthier mentally and physically. And when you can have more of a positive attitude about yourself, it helps you just in general with everything. It helps you with your decisions, and just in life. It's amazing how you can get all involved with yourself and you're heavy and you're unhealthy and it brings you down and you get depressed or sad. Depression is actually an issue. So so if you can get to the place that you look in the mirror and you like yourself and you're learning new things and how to keep yourself healthy, I say go for it. Take your time. Don't look for the quick fix because the quick fix is not going to stay. So, you know what? Go for it. Get a new lifestyle. You will become healthy. You will become a lot happier. And you will just find that you're handle things a lot better. I've always been kind of positive, but I did feel myself get pulled down when I was where I was.
Yeah.
Now I'm back to my positive self. I'm healthy, and I don't even have to take blood pressure medicine anymore, which really has made a world of difference with me. So, all I can say is reach in yourself and pull out that person that you want to be. That's my advice.
Right. Right. Awesome. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for your effort and everything that you put together while we with our work together. And you are equipped to move forward with exactly the tools that you need, and you know how to reach in and do that. And you always have me to ask a question or two if you need a little support or kick in butt to help you through any of the questions or anything that come up. So I really appreciate your time. I know that this story will impact someone else that watches it tonight, but definitely in the future, they will come across this and be like, wow, this lady reminded me a lot of myself, and she decided that she was important and that she needed to take care of herself, and it showed. And you've come a tremendous way in a short amount of time. 3 years across your lifespan, It's but a blip. We lost her, but we're going to wrap things up here. So the important thing is learning from Peggy, learning from other people that this can happen. This can work for you. You can live a lifestyle, and that's not what I want. It's trying to make me comment. I don't want that. I just want to bring her back in. So there is, there is so much more to life when you are actively engaged and working in getting better and improving yourself and pushing through any and everything that you do. So, if you need help, reach out. We can have a conversation about what's going on in your life right now, what's not working, and we can also talk about what you need to be doing to get unstuck. We'll have a very insightful conversation. Probably the best 45 minutes you're going to spend working on you that you have in the last decade. I promise you that. So I'm going to wrap it up for Peggy, unless she pops on here in the next 30 seconds. So in the post below, we will have a link for you to click on, and you can go to that link and or just reach out to me in a private message, and we can connect there and start talking about what it is that you need to be doing to improve your health right now and your life. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful night, and good night.